Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my week number 13 must-start and must-sit wide receivers for fantasy football in 2021. Inside today's video, we'll begin by discussing my must-start wide receivers of the week, and then about halfway into the video, we're going to be pivoting into my must-sit wide receivers based upon their matchups for week number 13. But before we could get into things, I would like to ask, if you are new to the channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, to please make sure that you do hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, we put out content every single day to help you guys win your 2021 Fantasy Football Championship. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure to hit that like button down below. It would help us out a ton. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, please do so at NotoriousFNTSY. So without further ado, let's get into my week number 13 wide receiver must starts and must sits. We begin with the must start category, headlined by Brandon Aiyuk, wide receiver of the San Francisco 49ers, going up against the Seattle Seahawks this week in Seattle. With Deebo Samuel expected to miss 1 or 2 weeks, Brandon Aiyuk will be in the driver's seat as the number one wide receiver, the lead wide receiver of the San Francisco 49ers. Last week, up against the Minnesota Vikings, he had 3 receptions on 6 targets for 91 yards, though Deebo Samuel didn't get hurt until much later on in the game, so we couldn't really see Brandon Aiyuk fully take over. This week, he faces the Seattle Seahawks, who rank 27th in past DVOA. This could be a game where Jimmy G absolutely carves up the Seattle Seahawks defense like they are a fucking Thanksgiving turkey, and I believe that Brandon Aiyuk will be a huge benefactor of that. Again, it is very clear that he is the number one wide receiver on this team, and I believe that the Seattle Seahawks defense isn't all that good, and I think that Brandon Aiyuk has the upside this week to finish as a top 12 wide receiver. That's why I believe he is a must-start wide receiver on the week. My next must-start wide receiver is Darnell Mooney of the Chicago Bears, going up against the Arizona Cardinals this week. Mooney has been on a hot streak over the last 3 weeks with over 15 half PPR points in all of those matchups. Last week, up against the Lions, he had 5 receptions on 8 targets for 123 yards, the second week in a row in which he topped the 100-yard mark. It is up in the air whether it will be Justin Fields or Andy Dalton under center at this point as I'm recording this video on Thursday. As we get closer to Sunday, we should have a lot more clarification if it is going to be Andy Dalton or Justin Fields, but if I'm being honest with you, I do not personally believe that this is going to have much of an effect on Darnell Mooney, as he has been productive with both quarterbacks under center. This week may also be the welcome back game for Allen Robinson, but to be honest with you, just like with the quarterback change, whether it is going to be Justin Fields or Andy Dalton, to me, if Allen Robinson is back, it doesn't matter at all, because Allen Robinson has been a complete and utter disaster all season long, and I honestly believe that when he returns, Darnell Mooney will continue to stay as the number one wide receiver on this team. And I believe, while this is a bit of a tough matchup up against the Arizona Cardinals, you do have to ride the hot streak and continue to play Darnell Mooney. Fire him up this week with confidence up against the Arizona Cardinals. My next must-start wide receiver is Jaylen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins, going up against the New York Football Giants. Jaylen Waddle has been an amazing rookie thus far this season, seeing over 9 targets in 4 of his last 5 appearances. Last week, up against the Carolina Panthers, he turned 10 targets into 9 receptions for 137 yards and a touchdown in that matchup. He should continue to see this very high target share, even if Devontae Parker is able to go in this game, which seems more and more likely. But even if he is good to go, Jaylen Waddle has cemented himself as the number one receiving option in this offense, and it's because of that connection he has with Tua Tagovailoa. Why does he have such a good connection with Tua Tagovailoa, you may ask? Well, it's obvious, because they both played college football at Alabama. That connection has been amazing thus far this season, and up against the Giants, things could get a little bit dirty, and I believe that the Miami Dolphins are able to easily destroy the New York Football Giants. I think Jaylen Waddle has yet another great performance in MetLife. But before we pivot into the must-sit wide receivers, I would like to let you guys know we have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy this NFL season to bring you guys some great offers. Check out our exclusive limited time offer, which gets you guys 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo, sign up for an account via the link down below, deposit, and play. That's it. Yahoo will send us your name after you play in your first paid contest, and we will reach out to you via email with your coupon. If you would like immediate access, that's all right as well. All you got to do is email support@awesemo.com, and we'll get you set up immediately. You can also claim a free $10 of site credit by clicking the link in the video description below, which can be used to enter any Yahoo contest, including tonight's $100,000 Thursday Night Football Baller. Please make sure that you guys use our DFS tools and projections designed specifically for Yahoo to give you guys the best shot at winning big. Please make sure that you do check out Yahoo Fantasy, link down below in the description. We begin my must-sit wide receivers with Kenny Golladay of the New York Football Giants going up against the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Despite the Giants giving Golladay this fat contract, they basically backed up the Brinks truck to give this guy all this money, and his usage has been nothing short of fucking atrocious. The Dolphins defense has been stellar over the last 4 games in their 4-game win streak, allowing over 10 points just once. While that is a big factor in fading Kenny Golladay, the bigger factor is that Daniel Jones may not be good to go in this game, and it is entirely possible that we see Mike Glennon be the starting quarterback. And if you thought things couldn't get much worse than what it's been like for the Giants with Daniel Jones under center, in my opinion, things are going to be an absolute disaster if Mike Glennon is under center. So I think that Kenny Golladay is going to struggle in this game, even if Sterling Shepard and Kadarius Toney are not in this game. This Dolphins defense has been locked down over the last 4 games, and if Xavier Howard or Byron Jones are on Kenny Golladay, then his fantasy football production is basically thrown out the goddamn window. So don't be firing up Kenny Golladay this week. He might as well just be cut off your team at this point in the season. My next must-sit wide receiver is Jamison Crowder of the New York Jets going up against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Last week, the Jets defeated the Houston Texans. Congratulations. A huge round of applause for Zach Wilson to win that game. But no part of that win instilled any confidence inside of me for Jamison Crowder with Zach Wilson under center. Now, last week, I declared that, hey, it's not going to matter at all for Elijah Moore, for any of these guys, if they go from Joe Flacco to Zach Wilson, going from Magic Mike White to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is going to be just fine. But based upon watching that game, I honestly think I would have a lot more confidence in Jamison Crowder, in all of these other wide receivers, if Zach Wilson was not the quarterback and maybe cool Joe Flacco was the guy. Crowder last week had just 1 target for 1 reception and 5 yards, and the Jets' reduction in pass production also impacted Elijah Moore's production. With Wilson as the starting quarterback, Jamison Crowder should just be left on your bench. I just do not trust Zach Wilson at all, and nothing I've seen out of him this season tells me that you should do so. Now, do I think that Zach Wilson is a fucking bust, that this guy was a waste of a pick early on in the 2021 NFL draft? No, because we've only seen him play a couple of games, right? So there's no way that you can just assume this guy's a bust after playing a couple of games, but based upon what we've seen right now in 2021, I just don't think it's worth it to start Jamison Crowder. I would still start Elijah Moore, but he is on the brink of, man, if Zach Wilson doesn't look great in this game, then you might as well not even start Elijah Moore. But for this week, I'm fine playing him. Definitely do sit Jamison Crowder, though. My final must-sit player of today's video is Rashod Bateman of the Baltimore Ravens, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Bateman was a very interesting waiver wire ad in Week 6 following his return from the injured reserve. Since then, he has failed to eclipse 10 half PPR points in all but 1 game. Last week, he saw a season low in targets up against the Cleveland Browns with just 4 receptions on 4 targets and 31 yards in that game. Without scoring a touchdown all year, it is very hard to see the upside of Rashod Bateman game in and game out. I understand that this Steelers defense doesn't look amazing, but I think with how he has been used thus far this season and with very little touchdown upside, like I said, the man hasn't scored a fucking touchdown all season, so I don't think that magically that is going to happen soon. So with Rashod Bateman, I would rather just leave him on the bench. And if he continues to get just like 4, 5, 6 targets every single game and isn't doing much with it, you're probably going to end up cutting Rashod Bateman in about a week or 2. So thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. If you did end up enjoying, please make sure that you do hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like on today's video. I love you guys all so much. Make sure you do check out Yahoo Fantasy as well. Link down below in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your guys' day and have fun watching Thursday Night Football tonight. I love you guys as always. Good boy.